So even though I am recording this video specifically because we are in August and everyone seems to be on vacation, and it's really easy to feel like you're not being productive and activity has waned and you just want to fast forward to September, the reality is that we go through these slumps many times for some of us throughout the year. And the best practices I'm going to talk about are not just relevant for August or the summer. It's relevant no matter what. And I'm specifically talking about that feeling when you don't have a ton of activity in a week or in a month, where new business is not converting the way you want it to. Maybe your social posts aren't landing. Maybe you don't really have anything sort of unique to say in a blog or video. And you put yourself in a negative mindset of, wow, I'm really not productive and I might as well just fast forward to September because this month is a wash. I want to talk about how to combat that. One of the keys to being a successful independent practice owner and manager and advisor is having the ability to switch out of mindsets, shed belief systems, and work on the business no matter what the business looks or feels like in any given week. And so I want to start with first recognizing what's actually happening when you're feeling that feeling of, God, I'm not being productive and I shouldn't be spending my time, editing these social posts. I should be revenue generating, but nothing's happening, et cetera, et cetera. What's actually happening is we're missing the dopamine that we have been trained to feel and equate to success. If you grew up in a sales culture, if you grew up in the insurance BD where they're counting number of lives, where you're ranked on a leaderboard, if you grew up in the wirehouses where it's, chairman's or whatever, or any really broker dealer or independent firm, we equate those metrics with success, with running a successful business. We equate activity and number of appointments and people we closed to success. First of all, the reality is, and I've talked about this a lot, success when you run the business independently, sorry about this plane flying overhead, we're live here. Success is how you define it. And so, of course, we need goals, quantitative and qualitative, to keep us and our team on track, to keep us aiming to build more and to build bigger. But remember that those feelings that we are used to getting, the excitement that we feel, the dopamine surge literally that we feel when we close a case or sell a policy or a service or convert somebody, is completely manufactured. And so what we actually need to do is train ourselves to feel as excited, as happy, as proud when we're doing things that don't necessarily lead to revenue generation. So here's my recommendations for you. First of all, recognize that it's happening and recognize that if you feel in a slump, one of the things you may want to do is spend time with, and this is assuming now, folks, it's slowing down in August. You don't have a ton of appointments on your calendar. You don't have a ton to say. First thing, fill at least some of your time with people, whether it's centers of influence, top clients, friends, people in your network that make you feel good, who are interested in hearing what you've got going on in your business, who are interested in talking about what they have going on, who potentially have the ability to influence others on your behalf, to advocate for you. So we want to fill our time with the people that help us feel those feelings of, gosh, I do good work. It's the clients that you call them up and they'll say, I just want to tell you, I love what you guys are doing. So that's the first thing. Spend the time sort of replacing those feelings of success with conversations with people that make you feel good. The second thing I would say is dedicate time to strategic thinking and administrative tasks. This may seem counterintuitive, but the reality is when you're running a business, at some point you do have to get to the parts where you're thinking about the business, you're planning, you're reflecting on what went right or wrong. you're completing things that you maybe push off, right? Because work expands to fill the time we have to complete it. So if we have a year to finally get around to updating our pitch deck, we're going to leave it until, December 31st and then push it into the next year. And so perfect opportunity when you're in the revenue generation rut is to fill time with those things. Complete and literally write out all the things. I'm somebody who keeps a running list of all of the outstanding projects that I know I have to get around to. And the minute I either know I'm going to go into one of those ruts, the week is filled with those projects, allowing me, hopefully in some cases, to get to completion on some of them. So fill your week with morning conversations that are going to uplift you, that are going to sort of reinvigorate you. And then middle of the day filled with getting through one by one projects that you've left off. So these are things like, I really need to update my business plan to reflect things that have drastically changed this year. I need to go in and audit my website and write some new content for the sections that I've been always wanting to change. I need to get around to going on any of the sites that connect you. I can't think of any of the names right now, with freelancers, and I want to hire somebody to help me create some graphics that I can put on my social media, et cetera, et cetera. These are all the things that get pushed to the side that we don't want to focus on because it doesn't make us feel good. We don't really feel like we're being productive if we focus on those things, but we have to focus on them at some point. That's the time to focus on those activities. The last thing I'll say is also critically important to focus on doing the things that aren't necessarily due anytime soon, but are going to be due without a doubt at some near point in time. So here's an example. Figuring out employee compensation and what percentage of net profits you want to allocate to bonuses next year. This is a conversation that 90% of the time advisors leave for the very last second, i.e. right before the end of the year. And then they're scrambling to hire consultants and coaches who can help them figure out what to do. Perfect activity to complete in August, or at least start to think about. What's my framework for how I want to think about constructing bonuses? What number am I comfortable allocating or keeping in the business each year to allocate to bonuses? How am I going to tie team members' activities and behaviors to incentive compensation? Literally spend the time researching, reading any of these fabulous books I have here about comp, and constructing your compensation philosophy. That's something that absolutely is due at the end of every year, and advisors, again, don't get around to it until the end of the year. So talking to people that will help you replace that dopamine, focusing on admin projects that get pushed to the side, focus on things with a midterm goal range, and then finally take a vacation. We all talk about wanting work-life balance, and I find that advisors really have a tough time taking time away from the business, although I think that's changed over the last year or so. But take time off. If you're really in a rut and can't get your groove back, remember that it is your business. And success is defined so much more by how we feel at the end of the day and how our clients feel, rather than any numeric goal you can put on a piece of paper. Okay, folks, I hope that was helpful, and I hope it gets you through August. Curious to hear your feedback on my ideas. I will see you soon. Take care.